And the third advanced configuration is really nice. This is the kind of thing that makes a big difference during the screencasting. And so when you need to use this thing called guard. So what guard does is it monitors the file system, and when things change, it runs the tests, or it runs appropriate tests. So for example, if we change the static pages controller, it will automatically run the static pages controller test, which is really nice. And by the way, I should mention that, oops, I want to do the gem file. I should mention that the reason this is all working is because we have this gem file that includes all the gems. There's some magic going on in the sense that it's just working, but it's because we actually installed these gems at the beginning. All right, so let's initialize guard. It's actually a good idea to do bundle exec here. This created what's called a guard file. That's what I started to type before because I was anticipating this. This is the file that determines which tests get run when you change which file. So I don't want to use this guard file. I want to use the one from the book. This guard file has been optimized for the Rails tutorial. And again, you should not be trying to copy what I'm putting in here now. You should use what's in the book. Oops, why didn't that work? There we go. Copy that and paste it in. There we go. And let's see what happens if we run guard. So here's the guard prompt. There's really only one thing you'll ever do with the guard prompt. I've got it set so all on start is false. That means that guard will not run the full test suite when it starts, but we can have it run the full test suite just by hitting return. There we go. So you can see that it's green. Now, not only show you the reason we're doing this, though, I'm going to make a change here. I'm going to put a new line in here and save it. And now you can see it's automatically running the static pages controller test. And if it ever is the case where you make a change to an application file and the corresponding test file doesn't run, or the test file that you want to have run doesn't run, you can edit the guard file. There are quite a few examples. At this early stage, it's probably a little bit intimidating. This is pretty advanced code. But that's how I built up this test file, or this guard file rather. Just going through the tutorial, I would find myself wishing that some test would run, and when it didn't, I would just add it to the guard file. This is a quick insert. There's actually something I forgot that causes problems when you try to merge the topic branch into the master branch. When running guard, it boots up something called the Spring server that I'll mention later in this lesson, and it creates a bunch of process IDs, or PIDs, in the Spring directory. This is the directory. These we do not want to be under version control. This will cause conflicts that are totally irrelevant to what we're actually doing. So it's important to add these to the gitignore file. Again, this is the sort of thing I wouldn't ordinarily worry about. This is definitely advanced, but if you are going to follow the advanced testing setup, you should definitely do this. You should add this in. So I set it up to show hidden files, and now I need to open gitignore. And it's here in the tutorial. It's this extra line, ignore Spring files. So let's add this in, save it, and actually I can just hide these again. All right, so that's just a little bit of configuration that you'll need to make if you're doing the advanced testing setup.